Hi there, my name is Anita Tate and I am a clinical application specialist at Microba and an accredited practicing dietitian. In this tutorial, I'm going to give you a brief overview of the microbial metabolite Hexa-Lipopolysaccharide within the Insight report to further inform your clinical interventions. So we know the microbes living within our gut produce thousands of compounds or metabolites which act systemically throughout the entire body in ways that can be detrimental and beneficial to health. Hexa-Lipopolysaccharide, or Hexa-LPS, is one of these metabolites that is shown to be pro-inflammatory and is produced by some species of bacteria. Within the Insight report, Hexa-LPS is located within the deeper section under the tab, Microbial Metabolites. This is an important part of the Insight report as it gives an indication of the function of your patient's gut microbiome. As you can see here within this example report, hexa-acylated lipopolysaccharide production is sitting within the high range. This tells us that the potential for the gut microbiome to produce hexa-acylated lipopolysaccharide is higher than the comparison group. High levels of Hexa-LPS in the blood have been observed in individuals with metabolic and inflammatory conditions, such as obesity, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So what does this mean in terms of clinical interventions for a result that is out of the optimal range? Well, let's unpack this by firstly having a look to see what Hexa-LPS actually does within the body. This diagram shows the mechanism of action of Hexa-LPS and its interaction with the immune system. Each bacteria has its own unique LPS signature located within the cell wall, and toll-like receptors on immune cells will recognize the different types of LPS. Pathogenic bacteria, such as some types of proteobacteria, contain Hexa-LPS, which has 6 lipid chains activating 2 TLR4 receptors, which activate the inflammatory cascade within the systemic circulation. Our commensal bacteria have different types of LPS that don't stimulate TLR4 and therefore don't have an inflammatory response. That's how our immune system learns to live in harmony with our good bacteria while reacting to pathogens. What is important to know is Hexa-LPS isn't a problem until it actually crosses the gut barrier to interact with the immune system and the systemic circulation. This is where diet can play a role, and in summary, saturated fat has been shown to help Hexa-LPS cross the gut barrier into the blood. This diagram shows how omega-3 fatty acids can actually help protect the gut barrier and help prevent Hexa-LPS from entering the systemic system and therefore can put the brakes on this inflammatory cascade. In summary, diets high in fat, especially saturated fats, allows Hexa-LPS to cross the intestinal barrier and enter the bloodstream. Avoiding excessive intake of saturated fat can help reduce the ability of Hexa-LPS to enter the bloodstream. So what are the clinical recommendations for an out-of-range result? If Hexa-LPS is found to be sitting within the high range within the Insight report, recommendations include an increase in omega-3 fatty acids to optimal levels, and increasing dietary sources such as oily fish or flaxseed. Inversely, decreasing saturated fat within the diet through reduction of common dietary sources such as processed meats, high-fat dairy, ultra-processed snack foods, coconut oil and tropical-based oil products will help to decrease saturated fat intake. So that's it from me. I hope that's provided you with some really practical information about Hexa-Lipopolysaccharide. If you found this tutorial useful and you're interested in learning more about Insight, head to the video tutorials page via the Clinical Resources Hub. Our team is also available to answer any questions or queries you may have. Please email healthcare@microba.com. And from all of us here at Microba, do take care.